justice and fair play. It is very clear that if you have parliamentary system of government, or we have presidential system of government, or have a bicameral or unicameral system of legislature, without justice, without fair play, without equity, we will fail. A lot of earlier speakers has made mention of corruption as if corruption is restricted to the political elites. Corruption has permeated both the judiciary, the legislature, the religious bodies, the trade unions, the students' unions, and even the market women union. It has permeated everywhere. My Lord, the chairman, if I take recourse to the Bible, I would just say that we have all sinned and run short of the glory of God. What is left for us is to repent. We are guilty of corruption. My Lord, the chairman, the man that stole a goat, the man or the woman, because we are now saying he stroke she, the man or the woman that stole a goat, stole the goat because that was what he has access to. He or she has access to. Make 1 billion naira available to the man or woman, he or she will steal the 1 billion. So that he stole a goat, he or she stole a goat, does not make him or her a less criminal. If you give him 1 billion, he or she will steal the 1 billion. We have been referring to our former governors or our governors as if they are only guilty of corruption. Even the clerks in the office are guilty of corruption. Before you see the governor or you see the organ, they'll ask you for gratification. If you don't do that, they will block your access to the organ. So we are all guilty of this offense. What we have to concern ourselves with is how to rebuild this country. I want to make another clarification. One of the most revered elder statesmen, Chief Ike Clark, did say when he gave his own address that people from 70 years above are in the departure lodge. I disagree with him. Everybody is in the departure lodge. Anybody can drop at any moment and end up. Death is not by age. So we have to be realistic, and each and every one of us should hasten up and try to correct the ills of this society. Let us not think we will wait when we get to 70 so that when we enter the departure lodge, we will try and correct all the ills. We may not be opportune to live up to that. Some people die at the age of 2 years. Some die at the age of months or days. So I want to state clearly, Mr. Chairman, that there is need for us to work together. The major thing is unity. Once we are united, we can solve all other problems. Once you have justice, equity, and fair play, Nigeria will be better than it is. And for local government, I disagree with those people that are saying that local government should be tied to the state or this. Local government should operate as a different entity, different arm of government. So that if they give them money, they will be able to utilize the money for the goods of the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Nwabueze, Comrade Henry. Nwabueze, Comrade Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Comrade Henry Nwabueze, representing National Youth Council of Nigeria, distinguished delegates. Mr. Chairman, of all the challenges or problems we are facing today in our nation, the greatest is youth unemployment. Youth unemployment is a mother of armed robbery, kidnapping, thuggery, Boko Haram, etc., etc. Mr. Chairman, in order to avoid the situation we had 3 weeks ago, an immigration recruitment exercise, I propose SSF for the youth unemployment. Youth unemployed, SSF means Social Security Fund for the unemployed, whether the old or the youth. This will solve our problem, 90% of our problems. I believe this SSF, with it, we are going to solve the problem of insecurity in our nation. And I believe this SS fund, SSF, Social Security Fund, will receive a fund from Sovereign Wealth Fund, SS Cruise account, CBN, corporate bodies, kind-hearted wealth Nigerians. Mr. Chairman, I suggest that the relevant agencies of government will work out the modalities for this, include collecting of accurate data of unemployed youth across the nation. Because if you look around us today, the problem we are facing today is insecurity. Our people are dying every day. Down there in the villages, most of us here in Abuja, we don't know what they're suffering there. If we create this social security fund, I propose that each youth unemployed and old should receive 20,000 naira allowance monthly. And also free medical service for the unemployed also. This will bring our challenges we are facing today as a nation, the solution we have been looking for. So, Mr. Chairman, if you do this, I don't think that what we have been saying here since, insecurity or corruption, etc., all will be a thing of the past. Mr. Chairman, I propose that we should adopt it and let it be one of the decisions we are going to make here today. I thank God for Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mr. President, for putting this together, for we to gather here and take a decision that will move our nation from point A to point B. Thank you. May God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Nwachuku, General Ike.
My Lord, the Chairman, our distinguished delegates, I commend the President of our Republic for his courage and vision in convening this national conference. I am proudly Nigerian, with an Igbo father, a Hausa Fulani mother, a wife whose father is Yoruba, and mother Kalabari, and whose brothers and sisters and relations are married into different tribes, religions, and cultures in our country, Nigeria. But that notwithstanding, I lead the Southeast delegates to this all-important conference in search of equity, fairness, and justice for all. We're here, or I'm here, to deal and negotiate for a new Nigeria, which will bring a final stop to untold hardship, deprivation, and relegation to millions of our people across ethnic divides. Mr. Chairman, we're therefore here, to my mind, to restructure our country to become a true and balanced federation with zones as the federating units, to devolve powers, to guarantee equity, justice, and development, to assure fiscal federalism, to guarantee citizenship and residency rights and secularity of the Nigerian state, and to ensure our security, women's rights, and youth employment, and the challenge, and to further assure, particularly, the indivisibility of our country. But finally, I would like to urge my fellow delegates to set aside prejudices and face our task of redirecting our country to a path of shared growth and happiness. And to do this, we must all collectively define, collectively design, and collectively defend this new Nigeria that we're about to build in order to ensure that no one is oppressed, or smoothed, or crushed, or kept down by any force of any kind. Mr. Chairman, I overheard some colleagues of ours here suggest that the military is tribalized. That is absolutely untrue, because the moment you begin to have a tribalized military, then we are in for a total disintegration of our country. I speak for my colleagues who swore the oath of office to defend the integrity of Nigeria, that are prepared to do so if we give them the right leadership. Finally, we need, as a people, great amalgam of people here today, number two, do for ourselves what we need to do to create a greater and a better future for our children. I want to thank you.
Thank you for that contribution. Nwagwu Ezenwa.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Ezenwa Nwagwu. I come from the constituency of people who are passionate, extravagantly passionate about the possibilities of our country, the civil society organizations. First, this conference, to my mind, is about justice. It's about economic justice. It's about political justice. It's about cultural justice. And I also know that it's going to be about electoral justice. And in the conversations that we have had, dear colleagues, what I've seen that have defied the Nigerian ruling elite is the inability to build a modern state. A modern state does not pander to the kind of demographic insensitivity that we see in our constitution. In our constitution, I have found no reason, biological or physiognomical, that will make somebody to be 40 years before he can aspire to be president of Nigeria. The constitution places a blockade on somebody who is 29 years of age from going to the House of Representatives. This constitution says if you are 34 years, you cannot aspire to be governor of your state, even if you have a double PhD. This constitution, while it raises the age, it reduces the educational qualification. There is something that is unjust about that constitution. And whereas I know that the president made a very excellent speech, but I have been told that excellent speeches don't build a nation. That groundbreaking events do not build a nation. That what will build a nation will be hard thinking and work. And that is what this conference is about. It's about us doing a lot of work. I am interested in the whisperings and murmurings of Nigerians. And they have asked me to discuss resource control. But that in discussing resource control, I should also add resource use integrity. That I should also question the fact that people could go to court to place perpetual injunction on any attempt to inquire on how they control the resources that were placed in their care. I am interested in suggesting a sports policy for our country that will not have among those that will bring that policy people who have been cheats during the time that they were running for the country. It's important, therefore, that this conference begins to think about a new DNA for our country. In families that all of us come from, Mr. Chairman, there are families you go to, they tell you that this family are a group of honest people. That this family, you can marry into that family. That family has a good DNA. Our country in the international space, we are viewed as common criminals. We are viewed as people who cannot conduct effective elections. We have allowed lesser countries close to us to become the poster boys of electoral justice, Mr. Chairman. My sense, therefore, is that we will struggle as a people to ensure that we give a new DNA to our country through this conference. And I have confidence in the amalgam of men and women who are gathered here to do that for the country. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Nwali, Senator Dr. Ofia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of your management team. I am Ofia Nwali. I'm from Ebonyi Central in the Southeast Zone. Ebonyi Central in the Southeast Zone. Mr. President urged consensus on us. I wish to state that consensus, if you're talking about numbers, is 100%. Any fraction, whether it is simple majority, 6%, or 70%, or any other percentage, is the stuff of division, of political party, of conflict, and war. And I have to say at this point that the people we have been eulogizing are of this non-consensus type of procedure. Our culture insists on consensus. The same with other cultures in other parts of the world, even the Buddhists in their monasteries. Expect that God is given in the instinct of our chairman. You remember the point where he refused to be constrained in attempts before he reaches consensus. He and his 50 wise men want a situation where after he went on only 2 tries or 3 attempts, he is instinctively 100% consensus, and that's why this conference is now moving. That our tradition, and to go against the people we are always praising, the people of war and so-called progress. Their war took them to Iraq. After that, it took them to Afghanistan. It took them to Syria, to Libya, Somalia, everywhere you can think. They carry with them war. We have to get out of that and get back to our own traditions and our own roots and solve every problem we need to solve, because we have the competence to do so. Whether it is Boko Haram, insecurity, or corruption. As somebody said earlier, since the Africans built the pyramid, and we their successors. Men used every type of number for every type of problem. For government and social institutions which have to deal with randomness and infinity, they have theorem in probability theory, and now you have computers to manage those numbers. The computers have to go beyond writing letters and banking and correspondence. They have to be databases designed for every level of government in this country. Every level of government. And they have to be interconnected in cybernetic mode. Then they will be used to run the institutions and implement the programs. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Nwabueze, Chief Barrister Dan.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Dan Nwabueze. I'm a lawyer. I'm a member of the National Institute, and I'm an officer of the Federal Republic. Let me join other delegates who have spoken before me to applaud Mr. President for this well-thought-out speech that has given direction and focus to this conference. Mr. President, through his speech, captured the essence of this conference, and I congratulate him for having the courage and the political will to summon Nigerians to discuss our common problems with the intent of finding a solution to our various problems that will guarantee equity, justice, and fair play. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, my Lord, I will start by asking a question asked by one of the former governors in the Anambra State when he wanted to be governor. He asked Anambrarians, are we cost or we are the cause? I'm asking now, Nigerians, are we cost or we are the cause? I will provide an answer. We are the cause of our problems. Mr. Chairman, I want to say that one of the major problems that have affected this country is based on tribalism and religious inclination. We don't love one another. Most public functionaries in this country are very pretentious. They will give contract based on tribe, based on religion. They will promote based on tribe, based on religion. Why would Usman not promote Benga if Benga is better than Aminu? Why would Okeke not promote Usman if Usman is better than Chike? Vice versa. That is the problem of our country. And when we arrive at a point, we pretend as if all is well. We laugh at one another. We smile. It did not get to the heart. We must address this problem of religions, problem of religion. It also affects contracts. Most of these things are done based on where you come from, based on religion, and we cannot pretend as if we are not aware of it. That has affected our development. We go for activities and for actions, not with our first 11. And I'll give you an example. Between 1983 and 1985, a Nigerian was adjudged one of the first 5 best neurosurgeons in the United States of America.